Order the July Waterworks and Lighting Commission meeting. And I would entertain motion to approve the regular commission meeting minutes of June 12th.
Also move.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? And likewise with the special commission meeting of June 27th, I would entertain a motion for approval.
Motion made.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Objections? We do not have any action items for this meeting. So we proceed to the safety coordinator. I guess my question was, what field inspections have we conducted and what are the findings? Where's the safety?
Oh, Sean's not here this week since we
Crickets.
changed this week. Since we changed the meeting day,
Oh.
he wasn't available today.
Okay, so does anyone else care to say that their area was inspected and what was discovered?
So, yes, Sean has come out to a couple of our hydrant excavations and replacements, just to monitor the construction site, make sure everything's up to code, what can the guys correct if they're doing something wrong and so on. And so that's what he's been doing for the water department.
Josh, anything in your area?
Sean doesn't do much field stuff with us. We have our own guys that come out with the electric.
So that's an entree to the line superintendent's report. Any questions for Josh?
Yeah, so that's a lot of tree related. Now, is that, again, a windstorm?
Tree and weather are kind of part of the same this month.
Yeah.
I kind of asked this question last time, but I'll bring it up again. We don't have anybody that proactively goes out and looks for this kind of stuff. We do?
Well, yeah, we have two crews that do it 20, every day.
Mhm.
And then our trouble truck does day-to-day complaints or issues. And our line crews probably spend, 1,000 hours a year trimming trees.
Well, yeah, I get that part, but do they go out and look for trouble? You're saying they look for trouble in advance, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
We also do IR scanning of the three-phase lines once a year, so if they find any hot spots on the three-phase lines, we get reports on that too. Usually loose connections is what's causing that.
Okay.
Are there any patterns here, Josh, that you're seeing that we need to address?
Not so much. This is really high compared to last year, but in the low 20s is pretty normal for June. So it's just slightly higher than normal, I would say, but significantly more than last year.
Yeah, a lot more storm.
Weather events are pretty tough, right? Not much you can do.
Okay. So, water department projects, any questions for Adam?
When do they expect to be done with the Lincoln Street?
Well, the
Construction.
utilities will probably be done here in the next couple of weeks. Right now, they're just finishing up with water up to Quick Trip, which is the end of the project. But then they're gonna have to do all the street rehab and everything else. So once the utilities get done at Lincoln Street, then we can move them over to 9th Street, which is between Peach and Chestnut.
Thank you.
Was the Quick Trip all done at the time of its construction? Was that area done? The utilities for Quick Trip?
That's actually off the back side. The water service comes off the back road. It's not off of Lincoln Street.
Okay.
That was done when they redid the remodel for the building.
Any other questions for Adam?
Well, related to, I think it was a later report talking about the high sewage fees or whatever, so you drained one of the retention.
Yeah, so randomly, when we get too much sludge in the retention tank, we have to send it to wastewater. And we'll do a full cleaning where the guys will go in there and spray everything down. It adds additional solids to what we send to the sewer, and that's how they calculate the charge. So randomly, every year, every 2 years, we'll have a larger charge than normal, but we do a full retention cleanup.
So it was expected based on your activity?
Yes.
No more questions for Adam. Move to the customer support supervisor's report. So my question to Lynn is, you have 92 of these payment arrangements that are broken. What do you anticipate the disposition of those would be?
Once they're broken, then they go out for disconnect again, and they have to pay their full past due balance to prevent disconnection. They don't get another one for another 12 months.
Okay.
So if you break your payment arrangements, you are not eligible for another one for 12 months.
Okay.
What is the commitment to community program? I'm not familiar with that.
Well, that's like the public benefit. It's what we pay in for the assistance. Everybody pays that. Every single person in the state has to pay that fee.
Half is focused on energy and half is the energy assistance payments. They just call it commitment to community.
Oh,
That's-
okay.
It's on your bill as commitment to community, but
It is?
then we split it
Okay.
into 2 ways.
That's how close I look at my bill.
What's the maximum level in dollar terms that we allow to be in arrears?
You mean before they're up for disconnect? They have to be $100 past due.
Any other questions for me? Pat, move to the Director of Finance report. Questions for Jeff?
Like to see positive cash flow?
Nice to have another month like that, and for the year, we're positive, which is great.
Any other comments or questions for Jeff? I like the looks of the investment report as time goes on here. Interest rates are looking pretty good.
It's actually above inflation now.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but we did have to kind of tweak the bottom a little bit so you could actually read some of the investments and just kind of squish where the funds are, but I think it's still easy to follow for everybody.
That's your new reporting format, is that?
For now, until we get more room on that page, so we'll just kind of keep it like that.
Yeah, okay. If there are no more questions for Jeff, then the Information Systems Administrator report.
So what is the cybersecurity monitoring project?
So we've got a third party,
Okay.
a third party service that's going to monitor our antivirus software, the event logs from the computers themselves, and the logs from the firewalls. Right now, we've got the servers set up. Next will be the workstations after I finish setting up the firewall, which is what I was working on today.
Have we been encountering any issues?
Not yet.
We used to get a monthly report and we would see from what country they were trying to come into the system. and you'd see Russia or Kazakhstan or all those.
We actually block any traffic that comes from anywhere other than the US. If it's trying to come in from anywhere other than the United States, it gets immediately blocked.
Even if they're spoofing it or anything?
There are countries that use US IP addresses,
Yeah.
computer addresses, to come in, but there's no way to know who they are or which ones they are.
Or the zombie servers.
Yes.
What's the firewall product again?
Palo Alto.
Pretty much the best available, is it?
It's very good. I mean, that one, Sophos, I think Untangle has kind of gone by the wayside, although I still use that in my house.
Fortinet's pretty big in larger businesses.
Yeah.
No more questions from Matt. Move to the key accounts conservation management report.
A lot of activity between key accounts and Todd and Tyler and the Mariani issue.
Mariani hasn't been suffering any significant issues though.
No, those are just, they were momentary outages. We're talking a second. So that's where I felt it was important to bring in Todd and Tyler, because they're the experts in the field. So all three of us met with them just to try to help them out on their own personal equipment, which I know Tyler has reached out to Warner Electric, because he has a good rapport with them. So that is in the process of being scheduled, and Tyler and I will join them when that meeting is scheduled, so we can learn a little bit more about their operation as well.
So you don't think this was any issue related to our equipment, it was their own internal?
It was their drives were having issues when they powered off and powered back on.
Any pushback from the communications on the water rate increases?
None.
Okay.
Those customers, usually it's the larger users that going into budget year, they communicate with me and they ask for our projections, which in working with Jeff prior to this, going into 2024, you know, he hit the percentage right on the head of what it would be, so they had already been given a previous heads up on it. But it's still good to follow back with them. I know like Ocean Spray, they were very appreciative of us reaching out to them again, but they have already previously budgeted for that 4.1%, so.
Thank you.
No more questions for Sean? Tyler?
With everything that was found on that west transformer, what is the cycle or the process for the review?
So we use Electric Power Systems. They're formerly Energis, purchased by EPS, but they have their own set of test equipment and their own experts. And originally they came in with some spare parts to rebuild the LTC, drain the oil on the transformer, and then test the bushings and make sure everything was okay. And we were planning on putting it back in service at the end of that week. So what they found was that the bushings are a sealed bushing that was leaking basically, so they could see air bubbles coming into the bushing. So it was almost imminent failure if we would have kept that in service. And so on the LTC, what they found was that it's kind of like a piece of equipment where the knuckle has to come into a like a C-shaped thing. That's how the little temp changer works. anyway, it was out of alignment. It was actually hitting like this, and it was, I think what, Tyler, 0.4 millimeters out of alignment, I think they told us, but
I would say it was 4 millimeters.
Phil,
It was quite a lot.
it didn't sound like a lot, but it was enough that they couldn't fix it. And so, what's nice about that company, it's a national company now, and their superintendent of their bushing department used to work for ABB bushings. So they were able to scour the country, look at every warehouse, and then tell us there wasn't a single bushing in any place in the United States. But they were able to go to the factory, and the factory created a slot for us to get those as soon as possible. And the same thing happened with the load tap changer. And so the delivery was 10 to 14 weeks out, and our commission, we met with them and we approved getting those on order. And so we're hoping to see those parts late September, early October, and get that back in service. And in the meantime, just running on one of the two transformers that are typically in parallel. So
I saw the loads were
those are
low enough
still,
that they weren't
yeah.
concerned.
those are looking good, and we only had really 1 or 2 real hot days, but it's been totally fine. So
Thank you.
You missed part of that story. When you missed the
No, I missed the
Commission.
meeting. Yeah, yeah.
We've already heard the story on Mariani, so let's move to the accounts payable check register. Any questions about the accounts payable?
I had one, but I had marked it and lost the mark. Oh, there it is. So the battery replacements, so what type of replacement was made? I know we've taken the tour, but are they still lead acid or?
Same battery station.
yeah. Yeah, so what I was gonna say on that is, so your battery life is 12 years, and the high school stuff was way past that. I think it was about 18, Tyler. And then, so we ended up replacing the battery bank at the high school, and then both of the banks at the west sub, they were both in the 12-year mark. But then one thing that they did come back with is the battery charger at the high school was also in need of replacement. So we have that part on order, and that's like 13 weeks out, so we're hoping to see that in August at some point. But I think they're nickel cadmium
Oh, they are,
batteries.
okay.
Yeah, which is, I think, what your question.
Yeah, I didn't know if,
Yeah.
I thought the ones that we had saw,
Yeah.
what substation that was lead acid, but.
Yeah, no, I think they're nickel cadmium. Yep.
Is there a reason for that?
That's, I guess, we take the recommendation of the battery company, and that's what they recommend. And,
Just for longevity or
I-
something? It seems like
I'm gonna-
18 years is a long time.
I'm gonna say it's, the years that you get out of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
So any questions on accounts payable other than what Rick raised? Our tree trimming is going well, Josh? Do they work full-time in the summer, or do you end up with vacation?
I mean, they don't get much vacation. They're, local 2150 out of Waukesha, so I don't believe they get any paid vacation. 2 of them are gone right now, hurricane work though.
No?
So we do have a little gap here.
Yeah, but we still have 1 crew here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw some pictures of a relative down in Arkansas, and the piles of debris down there, just humongous.
There are no questions on accounts payable? I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I shall make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.